Everybody, Gibson's Lawn Service checking back in. Look, fixing to respond to this comment. They said, what is the best company to look for when looking for life insurance? And I would advise you to talk to a insurance agent, not a vehicle insurance agent, an insurance agent who deals with health, who can help you find health insurance as well as life insurance. Now, they're going to try and sell you whole life insurance. Man, get you some term life insurance. You get term life insurance for pennies on the dollar. Explain to them, I'm not trying to use life insurance for my retirement. I just need something to cover me. If I die, my family can continue on. Whole life insurance is going to be 3 times the amount. And let me explain to you how whole life insurance works. Whole life insurance, you can lock in a rate to the day you die. Like at the time I was trying to get life insurance, I think a $50,000 policy of whole life was $100 a month. I believe it was $100. Yeah, I think it was $100 a month for whole life insurance. That $100 a month would have never changed. And how it would have worked, I'd have been paying $100 a month until the day if I'd have lived till I was 90 years old, I would have kept it to the day that I would have kept the 100. Because with term life insurance, this age bracket to this age bracket is this amount. When you reach that next age bracket, is this amount. Well, anyway, whole life, if I'd have got that $50,000 policy whole life, I would have been paying $100 a month. And the way it works, if I'd have lived till I was 80 years old, I'd have been paying $100 a month, $100 a month, and I would have surpassed $50,000. And from my understanding, maybe I'm wrong, but once you surpassed a certain amount, you stop paying, and then all of the premiums actually kind of catch up with itself, or you can keep paying, and then you can get a percentage of the money back. Like you would die, you would get the $50,000 plus more of what you already put in. And I'm not trying to do that. So term life, you can get a $100,000 policy. No, for term life, you get $50,000 policy for like $9 a month, but it expires after 30 years and you get none of the money back. So at the time I signed up for all my life insurance, I'm gonna be honest, at the time I signed up for my life insurance, man, I was already living check to check. So I really pretty much had to get the cheapest option possible, which was term insurance. You have 2 kind of term insurance. You have a term insurance where after everything expires, you get all your money back. And then you get the one, like for instance, we just using hypothetical numbers. Let's say if I'd have got that $50,000 policy for $10 a month for term, at the end of them 30 years, I wouldn't have got nothing. Or I could have got the $50,000 a year term and paid about $19 to $20 a month. And at the end of it all, I could have got all the money back. But again, you buying insurance hoping you will never need it, just like vehicle insurance. Nobody's expecting to get into a car accident. They're buying hoping they don't need it. But like now, at the time I bought mine, I was paycheck to paycheck. In a time like now, I'm still not wealthy. So if I pass on, my family will be able to put me in the ground, have money to do what they need to do. And then my wife can kind of take maybe 6-7 years off without working to grieve, which you shouldn't take you no longer than about 1 year to grieve, and you kind of move on with your life. But you don't know when you're going to leave here. And I advise anybody, man, just get some life insurance, man, because it always, if you got one child, man, get about $300,000-$400,000 life insurance policy, man. That way, when you die, you kind of giving them an advantage to carry on and do a whole lot better. But you got to also teach your children how to manage that money. Like, let's say if I had one son, right? I would tell my son, son, when I die now, you can use this house and rent it out or sell it. I would have a plan laid out for my son. If I had a son lived out of town and I ended up dying, I would make sure I got a $500,000 policy on me, and I'd tell my son, sell this house. So my son would automatically be up $800,000. When I die and leave, my son would be up $800,000. And if my son married with kids, I just made his life 20 times easier, because he can take, let's say if my son get $800,000, him and his wife buying a house for like $400,000, he can take $400,000, pay the house off, the other $400,000, he can put 300 up, and then they can take 100, travel, live. I just made their life easy. Just made their life easy. So you have to understand. I've seen this happen to people with big family. I've never seen a spouse die with a big family. I've never seen it, but I've seen a husband pass where the wife never worked, and he had a life insurance policy. He had his retirement, and he had his his Social Security. So I've seen that happen, and I've seen her kind of pick up the pieces, go get a job, and move on with life. And that's the only thing you're doing, because you just try to make it easier on the person. I advise anybody with a family, or if you don't even have kids, if you got a brother that you real close with, look how my child looking at me, just looking at me smiling. If you got a child that you're close with, like a sibling you close with, still, man, get a life insurance policy. That way, when you pass on, you're making somebody's life easy. I've seen it. Now, this is what I have seen too many times. Somebody died and everybody's selling fish plates, taking donations to put them in the ground. Man, listen, man, don't do that. Don't do that.